Hello, everybody, and happy Wednesday. Welcome to Wellness Wednesday Inspiration. My name is Fernanda Torres, and we are here today to talk about goal setting the right way and why most people do not accomplish their goals. And before we get started, I do want to say Happy New Year to everybody. Next time we see each other, it would be 2021, a brand new year for all of us with brand new resolutions. And that's why we wanted to come in today and talk about goal setting so we can start 2021 prepare with all of our goals and basically ready to accomplish all of our goals and all of our dreams in 2021. Dr. Linda, how are you doing?
Hi, everyone. Great. Happy, I hope everyone had a Merry Christmas, and New Year's is just around the corner. So I'm excited about being on here with everyone and sharing, why, of course, everyone's always talking about New Year's resolutions and does a lot of the planning towards the end of the year. But statistics always show that most people break their New Year's resolutions or are off the track usually by the second week. So I think the information we have to share today will really help a lot of people because it's been a very different, unusual year, but it's actually been really a great year as well. I was on the phone earlier with a friend and just trying to share the really good things that have come out of 2020. So although a lot of people are looking to leave 20 behind and venture off into an amazing new year in 2021, but the only people that are in charge of that are us. No matter what else is going on in the world, in the economy, it's still totally up to us. And I think that's going to be a big foundation and a big pivot point that most people will be able to take away with and use that as their building blocks. So, so I'm excited. How was your Christmas?
Christmas was great. We spent the time Christmas Eve and Christmas Day with the family. The kids had such a good time. The food was delicious. My mom cooked something very traditional Colombian. And we just had a very good time spending time with family and the kids and just leaving work for, a couple of days, literally just leaving work aside and focusing on spending more time with, family and my loved ones. I had a niece that came over for about a week and a half and she spent some time with us, and that was pretty nice as well, seeing her and spending time with her, and she spent Christmas with us. So it was overall such a beautiful time. How was your Christmas?
Awesome. It was awesome. It was just amazing. I love the holidays, and for us, it's really a lot about it's about family as well. So it was amazing. Spent Christmas Eve here in Arizona, and even though they told us not to travel, I went to California. I wanted to see my kids, my parents, and we had an amazing time. Just because I hadn't seen my parents in a few months, and it's just life gets busy, our schedule, but in the Latin culture, Christmas is just a very special time to spend time with your loved ones. And, I said, Mom, we're coming out, and just said, are you okay? She goes, absolutely. I want to see you. Plus, we're taking a lot of the precautionary measures more just to focus on our individual health so that we could do all that. And I just told them, okay, this is what needs to be done while we're there, and drinking the flu bombs and everything else. But it was awesome. But we're here now, and I'm excited about our topic because I'm a big goal setter. I don't know about you. I've been a goal setter since I was young. I don't know how young you started setting goals, actually writing them down, because there is a whole science to goal setting and writing it down. Even though we're in a techie world, there's a lot of apps out there. People will, they'll put it in their phone or, something, or I'm sure there's an app. I don't know what you use, but I'm old school and I write things down because there's something magical about actually writing it in your own handwriting and not printing it, but actually in cursive. So is that one of the things you do as well?
No, I have always been a go-getter, right? So I've always been able to self-direct and be very self-disciplined to achieve anything that I want to achieve. And I always aim very high in my life. I've always told myself ever since I was very young that I was not going to be any type of statistic. And being literally a first generation immigrant, I came to the United States when I was 13. I didn't want to follow the footsteps of many Hispanics or many other immigrants per se, where we get stuck because we don't speak the language very well, or because we come from beliefs and traditions from our country, or simply because my parents, literally, when I came with my mom, and my mom only had, a couple $100 in her pocket, right, when we came. So because of all of these things, I wanted to succeed. I've always considered myself a successful person, a self-driven person. So I've always strived for more, and I've always worked really hard, and I've always been very disciplined to achieve more. However, and I do have to admit this, I've never ever knew the science of goal setting until I started taking Thinking into Results, which is the course by Bob Proctor that I'm currently taking right now. And when I started taking that course, the very first video, the very first unit that we go into is goal setting. Why? Because when we are doing goal setting, it's setting that direction for our life. It's kind of putting that address in the GPS system, right?
Yeah.
So if you want to go somewhere, you want to put that direction in the GPS when you don't know where you're going, and the GPS is going to tell you literally how to get there. Now, let's say you encounter traffic, or you encounter bad weather, or a detour because the road is under construction. The GPS is going to tell you how to go around the detour or how to take a detour. But ultimately, if you have that destination in mind, you will get there because you have that destination at the end of the road, basically.
Yeah. You have to have, like you were saying, a goal is like you're planning a trip, and it's like, okay, I want to get from Phoenix to New York. You're not going to just get in your car and just go. It's like you're going to, what the end result is, but you're going to have to make some baby steps along the way. So I'm such a strong believer that, it's, and kind of like at the same age as I started really young too, just setting goals kind of by, I don't know if it was just by accident or just kind of a natural thing. And I would reach every single goal that I had put out there. So I'm a strong believer, and even the kids, you probably started your kids at a young age and really in the mindset, and that they're in charge of their own life. So I've kind of embedded that in them. And that's been an advantage, that no matter what's going on in this world, you're going to have detours in life. It's just, we have no control over the freeway system. If we're traveling from Phoenix to New York, we have no control. It's just like, we're going to get in there like, oh, well, this freeway's closed. We're like, okay, well, we didn't expect that. So we find another route. And I think if we parallel goals in that same perspective, that we will reach them. And sometimes you have to get on the phone, right, and call someone that maybe lives in the area, and they're like, oh yeah, just get off this off ramp, go on this side street, go here, 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 and there. And then you get back on the road and go this way. So,
but that is so important because you're figuring out as you go, which is literally life, right?
Yeah.
You have a goal in mind. You know where you're going, but you don't know exactly how you're going to get there. You don't know how you're going to achieve your goal. And that's the fun part, right? Figuring it out along the way. And along the way, as long as you are applying yourself and as long as you're working consistently towards your goal, you're going to get the resources that you need. You're going to get the people and the things, and even the money, the economic resources are going to show up when you need them in order for you to accomplish your goals.
Absolutely.
But it doesn't mean that you have to know exactly and have everything planned out from the get-go, right? Oh, I'm going to do this and this and this and that, and everything's going to come out perfect, and I'm going to be living the life of my dreams. That's not what goal setting is about. And one of the things that I learned on the program that I'm taking right now with Bob Proctor is that when we want to come up with a goal for our lives, we have to come up with something that scares us.
Mhm.
We have to come up with something that excites us. We have to come up with something that we have no idea, no clue how we're going to get it, how we're going to achieve it.
Yeah.
It has to be beyond our comprehension.
Mhm.
But we have to get so emotionally involved with the goal. We have to literally feel it. We have to see it. We have to visualize it. We have to see ourselves living that goal life, that dream life that we want. And then again, the resources are going to start showing up. So it's not about knowing how to do it, right? And he gives the example of someone who says, well, my goal for my next car is to buy, for example, right, an Acura TL. And he asked the guy, well, what kind of car are you driving right now? And he says, an Acura TL. So he says, well, that's not a good goal. I mean, yes, you're getting a newer car, but you already know how to get an Acura TL. You got to set a different goal. You got to set something that is beyond what you've ever done in your life.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that is so important. And then you were talking about writing it out, right? So in the program, we have these cards. Those are the goal cards that we're given in the program. Then on the back of the card is our goal. And we write it down and we we read our goal card multiple times throughout the day. And we always have it around us and with us. So this goal card goes with me everywhere I go. When I travel, I have it with me. When I'm in my desk, I have it with me. I have it with me all the time. And all the time, every time I have a free time, I read my goal card and I get emotionally involved with it because I want to ingrain it in my subconscious mind.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the things, that people can do too is like get like a little index card like this, write it down as well. You write it down in the present tense. So you write it down in the present tense and you just write, you can get a 3x5 card. I know Bob Proctor, his program is, you can go through a program with him and there's a lot of audio teaching. There's mentors. And like you said, he has a goal card and I'm like, create your own goal card. So it doesn't have to be something that's going to be out of like, oh, well, I can't do it because I don't have that goal card. It's like improvise, make your own. So I've always had like a little 3x5 card and I would fold it up. And what you can do as well is put your goals on one side and on the other side, I have it in my other room, is put pictures on there. So I actually put pictures of your family. Like I had a picture of my mom and dad. I had a picture of my kids and my husband. And then what I would do is put it in a little sachet and actually put it in the sachet. So it was kind of like I carried that around. So that's even something creative. Like you have a little, like a business card in a little holder. Well, you can just get a sachet and I don't have it here. I'd have to get off camera to pull it out and then just put it in there, carry it with you. And like you said, you're in the grocery store, pull it out, read it, feel it. But having number one, I think would be, and I'd like to hear what your number one would be. Number one is just having a clear vision. You have to be like one, yes, definitely set a big goal that I have no freaking idea how I'm going to do that. But my heart is telling me that that's what I want to do. And it should be one that doesn't involve other people. In the sense that it should involve something huge, like you were saying, something really big and not necessarily tie it to, oh, I'm going to marry this man or I'm going to do this for the kids. It's not about that because that's kind of dependent on their action, but something bigger than that. So one would be, like you mentioned, making it huge, and two, but just have a clear indication of what it is. So
clarity, I agree. I agree with you that clarity is the first step before doing any type of goal setting, right? You gotta get quiet. You gotta get still. You gotta get within you, right? And literally figure out what is it? What is that thing that if I do it would bring me on purpose? It would get me on purpose for life. What is that thing that I want to do? What is that thing that I want to accomplish? What is that thing that it's a big goal that is going to bring me so much satisfaction? in my life, right? And only you know what that is. Nobody else knows, right? Nobody else would be able to tell me what is that thing for me, or I would be able to tell somebody else what is that thing for them. So how do you get clear? You get clear by getting quiet. So setting time aside for literally just put something relaxing on the radio and get still and be alone, of course, no distractions, and start thinking. Start imagining, start getting creative, start literally letting your imagination run wild. And after you get clear, after you know, after you imagine and dreams and everything, and you get clear about what it is that you want to do, then you start getting a little bit more concrete about your goal. And by concrete, I mean, you do need to get your goal. I believe, at least some people don't, but I think you need to have a date for your goal. Right? So, okay, this is my goal, and this is by when or before. Always be open to receiving your goal before or before I'm going to accomplish it. So it's not just writing, oh, I want to become, I don't know, the next Beyonce.
Yeah.
But then by when, right? And then little by little start taking action. So I actually, every single day, I have an alarm in my phone, and the alarm goes out at 7 a.m, because that's by 7 a.m, I'm done with all of my morning routine. And the alarm says, what are you going to do today to advance you, to get you closer to your dreams, to your goals?
Yeah.
So setting that intention from the morning, and making sure that even if it's a small step, even if it's literally getting quiet for 20 minutes and visualizing about your goal, even if it's reading and writing your goal 20 times on paper, even if it's getting on a call with someone for 10 minutes, something that is going to advance you towards your goals.
Absolutely.
And so this is important, because a lot of people, let's say you work for a living, right? But that's not your goal. That's not your passion. That's not your dream. So if you're spending 8 hours working for a paycheck, but you have this vision that you want to become the next pianist or the next, I don't know, successful entrepreneur on something, right? Or you want to create something huge on space, right? A space rocket or whatever it is that you want to do, then you still want to set time aside every single day after work, even if it's 20 minutes. But 20 minutes every single day, it's going to get you closer than no minutes at all, right?
Yes, absolutely. Now, there's a couple strategies that I have used, because with my patients that I work with, at the end of the year, I always, or even when they just start a program with me, I do have them write out the best year ever. So basically what they're doing is they're writing a letter of, like, they'll just like post date it. Like they'll write one, if they write one today, it'll have the date like 12/30/2021. And when they have it, it'll say, 2020 was an amazing, or 2021, this year has been an amazing year. And they're writing their goal in the past tense. This happened, and that they'll hit up everything from health to relationships to finances to business. They'll write it as it already happened. So that is one way that you can do it. Another way that I think, and I would love to hear some of the other things that you talk about, but sometimes people aren't linear. So you can get a piece of paper and just draw a circle. It's like mind mapping. You put your goal on there. So if it's like, okay, a house, you put house. Okay, you circle it, and then you get the details. 5-bedroom house, 4 bathrooms, 2 stories, ranch, built in 2000. So you start, you can't, because sometimes just writing linear doesn't work, because your mind's all, oh, this, no neighbors, cul-de-sac, 1 acre. So you start doing that, and that becomes very specific. But I think one of the main steps before you actually write a goal, you have to be in the right vibrational frequency. And I know we've talked about this, this emotional scale about vibrating up here in the purple and in the blue, and do whatever it takes to get into that frequency. If it's playing music, if it's, I like to, like, if I'm going to do it, I will jump on a rebounder, or you can jump rope, or you can do squats just to get your blood flowing. And that automatically is going to push your vibration energy up. And that's really a good time. And, put the music on, if it's happy music, if it's meditation music, whatever, you have to find what works for you. And those are just like some really basic things. So anyway, I thought I'd add that in there because I know that because with a lot of the nutrition patients, you have to have goals. I always feel otherwise you're just going to live life. You're just coasting through life.
Mm-hmm. And you bring an important point that I do want, before I go to the next thought that I was having while you were talking, is that it's not only the goal that we want for our life in regards to like the next financial goal or the next house, but it's very important also for us to have health goals. Right? Mm-hmm. So how do you want to feel? How do you see your body? How do you see your weight? For a lot of people, it's a weight goal, right? Yeah. So that's something actually, without knowing a lot about goal setting a few years ago, thankfully, I've always had that when I work with overweight or obese patients that are on the journey of releasing weight. I don't say losing weight anymore. You want to find it, right?
Yes.
But it's literally getting to a goal, right? So I am so happy and grateful now that I weigh 170 pounds. And start visualizing yourself weighing 170 pounds and start thinking about how that would make you feel. And start thinking about all of the things that you're going to be able to do if you are 170 pounds, and how are those activities going to make you feel. Absolutely. So going back to what you were saying about the writing it out and writing the list, let's say if you say H, you assign H, the letter H for healthy, right? Because you're gonna feel healthy. And then you write everything that you want in regards to health. So I want to be 170 pounds. I want my body to rejuvenate every single day. I want to be able to run a marathon. I want to be able to be pain-free and all of these things, right? For health. And I want to love eating organic food, whatever it is that you associate health with. And then on the other side, on the other column, you want to write, how is that going to make you feel? And you can do this for anything. You can do this for a new house, for a new job, for your health, for your anything, right? Yeah. And so it's going to make you feel healthy. It's going to make you feel empowered. It's going to make you feel free. It's going to make you feel thankful. It's going to make you feel grateful. It's going to make you feel powerful. How is it going to make you feel? And write a list of emotions. And then when you get within yourself, when you relax and you start visualizing you at 170 pounds and all positive emotions that are going to make you feel, then you get into this vibrational state and it's going to get you higher and higher. And of course, like we were mentioning before, if you start already at a higher vibration by doing something that makes you feel good, in my case, it would be probably music. Music, it's actually my resource to increase my vibration. So if I'm already at a high vibration because I was dancing and I was listening to music, and then I start visualizing and thinking and everything, I'm raising my vibration even higher.
Absolutely. Yeah, those are some good points, because I feel it's hard to write a goal when you're not at that high vibrational frequency. And it's really simple to get into that, because people always ask, well, how do I do that? Or I'm sad. And I'm like, well, it's a choice. It's always a choice. There's things, for me, exercise does it. I'm like, okay, I can just do some squats. I can do some lunges. I can go get on rebound, and I listen to music. I love rock music. So I listen to rock, old 80s band music. I love that. And so I'll listen to that kind of music, and it gets you, motivated. And, there's so many resources out there. You can even just watch YouTube videos on, how to start. I would always supply that to a lot of my patients that I work with, and I would upload it and put it on our site, a private site, and just say, this is the motivational video for today. And it's always something positive, usually 10 to 12 minutes. Or what you can do is you can create your own while you're telling the story with the music in the background. So I know you've done something similar to that. I don't recall the name of it, but I know that Dr. Joe talks about mind movies. First is the mind. Yeah, do the mind map where you kind of figure out all the details. That's the mind map. Then that mind map you create it into a mind movie where it's the different images of what you're seeing yourself. And, you can put titles and everything. And it's good. It's actually better to hear it in your own voice because there is a subconscious connection instead of hearing someone else's voice. So using music and using your own voice and listening to it every single day, 2 to 3 times a day. So one, you're getting it from actually, writing it and seeing it and feeling it. But then when you put it, if you want to use the techie part, it's, you do that as well. And like what you were mentioning with health, even though a lot of people focus on weight loss, I like things, sometimes just the metrics of, okay, my heart rate is now lower, my blood pressure is now lower, my triglyceride levels are lower, my thyroid is now functioning better. So you don't always have to equate fat loss or releasing the weight or being healthier with that, because it's a process and it does take time. And sometimes the body will not release the weight for a while because it's reconstructing other areas that need to heal before you can release the weight. So there's many different ways. And I think adding a coach and a mentor, like I've worked with them for so many years, so many different mentors. At times I've had like 5 in 1 year, I think that's so important, and that you pay for one, because the more you pay for it, the more you are going to pay attention, because there's all this freebie stuff on there. And how many freebie programs do you have that you didn't go through? Probably not too many, but we're a little unusual where I don't even care if it's free. If I get it free, I'm going to go through it. Now my percent ratio is much higher when you're investing. So whenever people are looking for only free stuff, I don't know really if they're going to, we've talked about this before, accomplish it. Because if you gave me, you tell me, Linda, I love enchiladas, but you don't tell me your favorite kind and how you like them make. And then I go make them and I bring them to you and you look at them, they're like, these aren't enchiladas. If you would have told me, like a mentor, a coach, how to do it, it would have like, perfect, I love this. I think that's really important. What are your thoughts?
No, I love the idea. And Dr. Linda, I've really never really worked with a coach per se one-on-one before, right? And so then I started TIR, Thinking into Results. And the coach, John Tallarico, literally helps you guide you, right? Getting clarity and getting moving in your life, right? So there is no, I don't feel like it, I don't know how to do it. Like there is no excuses anymore, because the program really walks you through the whole thing on a goal setting and basically get moving to achieve your goals, right? But also the fact that you were saying about the mind movie, right? So we create in the program, it's also designed for us to be working on our goals, of course, every single day, towards our goal every single day. So we have something called the life script. I think that's what you were referring to, our life script. And the goal of it is to write how you see your life in let's say in the next year, but in present tense. So I am so happy and grateful now that I have, my 7-bedroom house. I'm so happy and grateful now that I have, I don't know, a yacht. I'm so happy and grateful now that I have health. I'm so happy and grateful now that I weigh, X amount of pounds. I'm so happy and grateful now that my body moves with ease, that I'm pain free. Like anything that you want, anything that you visualize, anything that you see, any monetary goal, anything, basically anything that you see in your life goes on the Power Life script, and you do it on present tense. And then you record it with your voice, like you were saying, because there is power to it. And then you listen to it every single day, twice a day. And so I've been doing that now for about 4 to 5 months. And yesterday I created my mind movie. So it adds an extra layer, right? Because now I'm listening to my voice with the Power Life script. And now I'm looking at the images of my life with the same affirmations, basically, that I do with my Power Life. So I'm listening, I'm looking at it, and I'm getting involved, really like inner state, like, transforming my emotions as I look through these images and as I listen to my voice saying how I see my life in the next year. So very, very powerful. Now, I do want to talk about, why do you think, or what are the main reasons why people do not accomplish their goals?
What I have seen, because I have been using this in the practice I've been doing functional medicine, which was one of my goals. Like 14 years ago, I actually started studying it. And recently, I have thousands and thousands of hours of training. I finally this year, because I put it on my list, that I'm going to get my certification. So basically I could say now, I'm a certified functional medicine practitioner, even though I have thousands and thousands of hours. But I had written that out. The reason that I have seen that a lot of people don't reach their goals is, one, it's their limiting beliefs and their worthiness. It really comes down to a worthiness issue. And a worthiness issue is a lack issue. It's not, because we're going to be driven by love or fear. To me, love is abundance, fear is lack. And so if we keep looking for, what's free, what can I get out of this? The lack is, it's stuck in people because they don't think that they're good enough, that they're worthy enough. Or what if I fail? But what if you succeed? So a lot of it is, I believe, the mindset, just from what I have seen working with patients. And last week we had an awesome session, with the practitioner we had on the pharmacist about, just the subconscious beliefs they're programs that have been embedded. So it's almost like we have to unlearn and deposit new programs, which it does get a little bit tougher as you get older. And the only way you're going to create those programs, we lost those first 7 years of life opportunity where we are in theta state, and it's like all the downloads are happening and it's like, bam, I got this. But as we get older, we have a lot of those subconscious programs still running in us. So a few things that I have done with some of our patients is we go through, there's a lot of work that you go through that you can start releasing that. If timeline therapy, you can do things up like that. I do a lot of timeline therapy under like a hypnotic state. So a lot of it does go down to the worthiness. And what have you seen with people?
I do believe that it is a matter of limiting beliefs. Whatever that limiting belief is, that it's keeping us stuck where we are. So whether it's a worthiness issue, or whether it's a fear issue, for fear of success even, or fear of failure, right? Because both fears are equally as debilitating, right? Yes. But whatever it is, that limiting belief, maybe who's going to want to listen to you, who's going to want to pay you, who do you think you are, you don't have anything important to say, you're going to make a mistake, people are going to laugh at you, whatever it is, it keeps us stuck where we are. And so it's always a constant reminder that if we don't do anything different, nothing in our lives is going to change. So we need to consciously, and that's the important thing that I was mentioning before, constantly, every single day, even if it's literally, I just don't feel like it today, but I'm going to do something for 5 minutes, even if it's 5 minutes every single day, that it's going to get you closer than you were yesterday and the day before yesterday. So keeping a reminder and keeping that alarm on the phone, it really sets that accountability and being accountable. And Barry just put procrastination is one of the reasons. So because procrastination literally affects so many people, and so many people procrastinate towards the goals and their dreams. And I think the reason why they procrastinate is because they have that fear of like, well, what if it actually works out? Or what if it doesn't work out, right? So I'd rather stay where I am. I'd rather not move and not do anything about it, right? Yeah. But procrastination, it's huge. And so by being accountable with yourself, by having that alarm in your phone and by literally telling yourself, no matter what happens today, even if it's for 5 minutes, I'm going to do something that it's going to get me a little bit closer and a little bit closer and a little bit closer, then little by little, you're going to get momentum. And as you gain momentum and as you start working on something, and then you put another extra step, and then you put another extra step, then you start releasing a little bit of this fear. But you got to recognize that the fear is what's keeping us stuck many times, right? And if we allow the fear to dictate our lives, then we're literally going to go back to where we were before. And then we're going to say, see, I tried it and it did not work. That's what a lot of times happens with diets. That's what a lot of times happen with people opening a business and then it doesn't work out. And they say, well, see, I tried and it just didn't work out. Right. But I think in many times we like self-sabotage.
Right? And it also, you know how we hear a lot about law of attraction? I think it's more law of vibration. And what you were saying right now about fear, this is like, I have this refrigerator. I have it in both of my offices. I have this on my phone as a screensaver. But if fear is right here at the bottom, and if you're vibrating at this energy, everything's going to come here. And that's why we have to be mindful on a daily basis. Like you said, I have alarms that pop up and things that pop up on my computer, just reminding me, things are always working out for me, so I see that. Or I do even some blanket statements like even if people don't know how to start, I just have them start with the conversation, So let's just say a person was like, I don't know how to set goals, that's kind of in a negative way. So to say, even though I don't know how to set goals, anything and everything in the way of that, let's uncreate, delete, destroy it across all time, dimension, space, and reality. So it's like, bam, you're speaking it out to the universe. And you're like, even though you don't know how to do this, you can release that. Or even though, or let's just say, so what would it take for me to know how to create goals? Anything and everything in the way of that, uncreate, delete, distort across all time, dimension, space, and reality. So when you start speaking about, your words are powerful. It's a megaphone to the universe. So there's ways of just wording it differently. So, I mean, what I just shared in there is so powerful, even with healing, with so much weight loss, with people with autoimmune conditions, cancer. It's just powerful because it is a vibrational energy that's moving throughout your body. So what would you suggest for a person like I've always been a goal setter because I wanted to have directions, and it's fun accomplishing them and checking them off. Someone had mentioned that they've done a vision board, which is great. The Mind Movie is like a live vision board. Basically, that's what it is. And people that maybe I feel like I'm pretty self-disciplined. I mean, you get up at 4, I get up at 4:30. I take a cold shower to stimulate my nervous system in the morning, and meditate and move and all that. And we have our routines. But what would you tell a person that doesn't have the discipline? How do you start that? What would you tell that person? I'd like to hear your 2 thoughts on that.
I think the main thing is to start changing that conversation in our inner self, right? Instead of saying, I am not disciplined, start changing that conversation to start changing your own belief, right? And then repetition. Repetition does it, I believe, unless you want to go and hypnotize yourself and, work at the subconscious level in that aspect.
But we are every day with our thoughts or with our words. We are hypnotizing ourselves.
That is very true. But hypnotizing ourselves in a positive way, right? Yes. Most of us hypnotize ourselves in a negative way. And then we watch TV and we're looking at the commercials and we're literally being hypnotized with those commercials and every propaganda that is coming to us, and most of it, it's negative. We don't see propaganda telling you are great, you don't need any medication. It's always like the medication may cause you cancer and I don't know what else. It's literally recognizing. I think recognizing awareness is the first step of anything, right? So being aware that you haven't had the discipline before, being aware that you are fearful, being aware that you have a limiting belief, that you don't think that you deserve it, being aware of whatever it is that is keeping us stuck, being aware that you've tried many times before and you always quit, being aware of it. So then you say, now I want to do something different in my life. I am ready to make a change. So what do I need to do? I need, with this awareness, what do I need to change? What do I need to do different in my life this time around that I've never done before? Remember, if we want to become someone we've never been, we have to be willing to do things we've never done. Absolutely. If we keep doing the same thing over and over again, that's insanity, right? So expecting a different result and doing the same thing over again. So after we know and we recognize that we have a challenge, let's say with procrastination, or we have a challenge with not being accountable, then we need to literally set it up as a repetition. And I think that's key, right? So if the issue is fear, how can I overcome fear a little bit more today? If the issue is procrastination, I will make sure that I am doing something, and I won't go to bed tonight and literally do this, like be accountable for yourself. I won't go to bed until I do whatever it is that I need to do, right? Whatever you had in the agenda for today. And then the other piece I think that helps is having some sort of guide for the day. And we've talked about these before, right? So if you have it written down in order of priority, you make sure that whatever it is most important for you to do in that day gets done early in the day. So there is no sense of being too tired and not having enough time, or, you know, the kids are around me and I can't do it anymore, or I'm too tired, I need to go to bed, whatever it is. So don't give yourself any excuses, and don't allow yourself to take any excuses, because ultimately it's our lives, right? So we can literally get to the end of our lives and look back and said, what a magnificent experience I had. Or we can look back and say, I wish I would have done this. I wish I would have done that. I wish I would have. And that's a very low point, right? To get to the end of our lives with regret about not living the life that we wanted to live.
Absolutely. And one of the things that you were saying, is really, it comes down to the voice. Like every morning, I always tell people, I said, I hypnotize my husband every day. You know, I don't see him every day because of work and his work, the type of work he does. I mean, I don't see him for weeks at times. So I hypnotize him every day. And I say, I have the best husband in the world. That's the first thing I say in the morning, or today's going to be the great day. I am so grateful that I have an amazing life. I'm so grateful I have awesome kids. I'm so grateful that I'm happy. So I'm already starting my day out by speaking it. That's your megaphone. So the person that may be fearful, it's just like I said, you know, use that little strategy that I kind of shared that's been even life-changing for, you know, when I work with people that are playing sports and competitors, you know, what would it take for this, anything and everything in the way of that, you uncreate, delete, you know, and just saying all that because you're actually speaking it out. But you eventually, I mean, I think we have to be our own cheerleader, number one. Some people are self-driven, but then there's some that are not. And the people that are not self-driven, I would say, one, it's the books you read, and two, it's the people you associate with. So you really, that doesn't cost you anything. You know, you can go to, if you don't want to, I mean, I have a library of books here in my home office and at the office and everywhere. And I mean, I'm still old school that I love to read I love to read books and I write notes. I mean, here's a little one treasury of quotes that you can just stick in your purse, and I highlight some of them. This is one from Jim Rohn. You know, there's so much. There's, you know, it comes down to the books that you read, because it's the books that are going to be, that's going to be immersed in your subconscious, and that's what's going to be marinating at nighttime. And it's also, who are you around? You have to have be selective of your tribe, because, you know, we become the average of 3 to 5 people that we we associate with. So it's very, we get to be mindful in that, instead of saying we have to, and a lot does come to our terminology. Like, Fernanda, you don't have to do anything. You get to do it. So a lot of it's just like, oh, I'm going to lose the weight. You're not going to lose it because you don't want to find it. I'm releasing the weight. So a lot of it is in that, you know, it's how are we speaking it that makes a huge difference.
Very
I
true.
know we're running out of time here, but hopefully those are some strategies and some hacks that people, can start implementing. And I don't know, a couple other things. I mean, I have so much, and I have like a part 1 and part 2 on goal setting that I've used with my patients, and I'll see if I can pull that out and link that up. But it's a document that I've had people use. And then if you want to share some of your sources of the life script and the mind movies, we can mention that as well. Those are very powerful.
Very, very powerful. So I think the main thing is for all the audience, whoever's listening right now, if you do have a goal, make sure that you are accountable for yourself. You're not accountable for anybody else, right? So it's your life, it's your dream, and you can either be living your dream or you can not live your dream and then regret not living your dream. So make sure that if you do have a goal, that you are doing something every single day that it's advancing you. And if you don't have a goal, get going on that. Because it's literally like we were talking at the beginning, it's that direction for your life. So if you get on a car and you don't know where you're going, if you have no idea where you're going, but you get on a car and you say, okay, I'm driving. Well, you get to the intersection. Am I turning right? Am I turning left? Am I keeping straight? Like, where am I going? Right? Yeah. So get that direction. And then once you have that direction, you are going to have obstacles. It doesn't mean that it's going to be like an easy road, to success. You're going to have obstacles. You're going to have challenges along the way. People are not going to want to, I don't know, maybe listen to you, or they're not going to pay you, like somebody that owes you money, or maybe your partner in your business, whatever happens. But as long as you stay focused on what it is that you want to accomplish, you will be able to overcome any obstacles a little bit easier because you have a direction. But if you don't, anything that happens, you're going to take it as, see, it wasn't meant to be. And then I'm just going to try something else, and you're going to give up. So stay persistent. Persistency, I think, is super important. And get involved emotionally. I think that is so important. We have to feel that emotion that is going to that how we're going to feel once we accomplish whatever it is that we want to accomplish. So it's not just saying, well, I want to become a millionaire. No, how are you going to feel when you actually become that? And what are you going to be able to do? And how are you going to, what are you going to be able to accomplish and all these things? So get involved emotionally. And I think that's the main key, because when you are vibrating at a higher frequency, you are attracting different things into your life.
Absolutely. And having those, even the vision, a couple of people that come to my mind are always, I think about someone like Kobe Bryant. He was relentless with his goals. I mean, just relentless. And in the short life that he had, he accomplished so much, and then the female person, I think about Jennifer Lopez. Her work ethic is impeccable, and she looks the way that she does because she's focused. So we can even think about a person that might just, light us up and like, what would such and such do? What would Kobe do if he was in my shoes? He said, girl, get your butt up and go do it, or what would other persons say? So, yeah. So hopefully that this has given, the audience some ideas. I think that we gave a lot of new stuff that people probably never even heard of. They're like, that's crazy what they're talking about, but it's cool.
And it works. It works.
Yeah. So.
All right. So to finalize, Dr. Linda, what are you grateful for today?
What am I grateful for? One, it's just us being here. I'm always grateful for the opportunity just to come on live with you. I mean, that's such a blessing. And I love my Wednesdays. That's one of the things too, of course, my health, and 3, the people I get to serve. I love my patients. I love the people I work with. So I'm grateful for those 3. I can go on, I'm sure. And you, 3 things that you're grateful for, Ann?
I am grateful for a new day. I'm always grateful for waking up in the morning and having another opportunity to create impact, and do the things that I want to do, not the things that I have to do, but the things that I want to do in my life. I'm very grateful for my kids. And as we get to a new year, seeing them grow and become more responsible, more centered, and more just more loving towards one another. And then the third thing that I would be thankful for, it's just the opportunity to have this channel. And I've been thankful since the get-go, because it creates an opportunity for us to bring these messages and help people understand maybe, or see things perhaps in a different perspective.
Yes.
And I think, and I kind of know that the things that we talk about here are things that are not normally shared by the typical providers when we go to the clinic to be seen, or, like, that's not your regular conversations, in line or at the grocery store. So just bringing a different perspective to everybody. And of course, all of this perspective has in a way, or many ways, have helped us accomplish or transform or become better already, talking about you and I. So it's just having the opportunity to have the voice, right, and the outlet to do it. And of course, you as my co-host.
Yeah, love it. Well, that is it for today. We'll see everyone next year. So have a happy new year, and we'll see y'all next year. Bye.
Bye.